Hey guys, meowing. I'm back. And I said during yesterday's NASCAR Xfinity Series race review that I was going to make a video about whatever decision NASCAR decided to make regarding the incident on pit road between Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemric. Well, NASCAR's made their decision, so here we are. Now, I'm going to explain this as best as possible because there's a lot of context that goes into this situation. There was context that came up after the race that adds to this. So on the surface, what happened was on pit road, Noah Gragson, whose pit box is right in front of Daniel Hemric's, backed into him while trying to adjust where he was in his box. And a lot of fans got pissed off by that because, one, it's Noah Gragson, so fans are going to get pissed off because there's a lot of fans that don't like him for various reasons. And then, and just yeah. And two, because if a pit crew member was coming between them, and thank God nobody was, that could have turned bad pretty quickly. Luckily, that didn't happen. After the race, Gragson posted a video or an overhead shot of his pit box, which shows that Daniel Hemric actually overshot his own pit box and thus had to back up into his own. So, well, he wasn't completely into Gregson's box, but he was like, I think halfway through or something. So Hemric had to back up, which means Gragson had to adjust how he was going to get into his box and then back up to adjust where he was in the box. So, to pull in more so that he wasn't lined up so close to the outline of the pit box, which if he had stayed there would have resulted in a penalty for pitting outside the box or whatever, which is understandable. And then Chris Knight tweeted a little later that there was a lap car involved with this whole situation, which we didn't get to see. So if that doesn't happen, then none of this happens. And he's a pretty well-respected reporter in the NASCAR community. So I'll take his word for it. But with all that being said, with all the context given, and there was a fight afterwards because Hemric was pissed off, at Gragson for what happened. Some people apparently Gragson flipped Hemric off. Apparently Gragson was pissed at him or whatever. Hemric obviously got pissed off at Gragson for what happened, so Hemric tried to take a shot at him. Shit happens. Here is NASCAR's determination on what happened. We reviewed the incident which occurred between the 9 and 18 cars on pit road during Saturday night's race at Atlanta Motor Speedway and met with Noah Gragson after the event. A chain reaction of events led to the 18 and 9 both overshooting their pit stalls. The 9 ended up both long and out of his pit box to the outside and needed to back up as far as possible to have any chance of fully pulling into his box. After reviewing the video, it is our judgment that the contact was not deliberate, so Noah will not be penalized for what happened. As a Gragson fan, I said this last night, and I will continue to say this. As far as this incident goes, I am okay with the call that NASCAR decided to make because with all the context that was added to it and everything we got to see, because in the heat of the moment, you don't get to see everything, and I'm glad that Gragson did post that overhead shot and then the Chris Knight tweet from later on that I mentioned. But I will continue to say this. Gragson still needed to have some sort of situational awareness there. In fact, if you look, the pit box in front of him was open, so he could have pulled up and then backed up, but instead of just backing up and then pulling forward. I'm not a NASCAR driver. I've never had to deal with that, but that's just an observation that I made. But again, as far as the decision goes, I'm okay with it. I know there are going to be people that are not going to be okay with it, even with all the context involved. There are some people that will want to see Gragson suspended, fined, whatever. And to a point, I can understand that. There are people that already don't like Gragson, like I said before, for various reasons. A lot of it has to do with his personality. A lot of it has to do with his father, which, if you hate his father, or if you hate Noah because of his father, really, there's some other shit from the past that people will still bring up to this day. Which if you're bringing like he's already apologized for that stuff, so give it a rest. But as far as I'm concerned, with Noah, from what I've seen this season, not just with this race, but you look with Homestead and you look, just at the season as a whole, and I've seen people bring it up on Twitter. How much is what happened with Noah's father, with him going to jail? How much of that has fucked with Noah up to this point? Yes. What now? If you don't know what happened there, I'm going to briefly explain that. Basically, what happened was Noah's father got into a DUI and actually killed the mother of 3 kids, and he's going to jail for I'm not sure how long. I think it's like 18 to 20 years, but I'm not exactly sure. Um, and when that sentence was announced, Gragson went private on his social media and took some time away, because reasons. And I've seen a couple people bring it up. How much of what happened with that? How much of that has really fucked with Gragson from a mental standpoint? And is that turning into some sort of aggression that he's just adding to his driving? I don't know. I'm not Noah. I don't know what's going on in his head, but it's something to talk about. And all things considered, I do think Noah does need to be talked to. I mean, I think Dale Jr.'s mentioned that on his podcast before, but, look at somebody like Kurt Busch or Kevin Harvick. When they were in the early years of their Cup career, they were both extreme hotheads. I mean, it seemed like almost every week Harvick was looking to pick a fight with somebody, whether it was, Greg Biffle, Ricky Rudd. Those are the two I can think of. And we obviously know what happened with Kurt and Jimmy Spencer. But over time, Kurt, it kind of took a little longer and he went through a lot more shit, but they both found a way to manage it and became who they are today. And I think Gregson's on the same trajectory where he's got a lot of passion. He's got a lot of, charisma. He's got a lot in him, but he needs to find a way to manage it. And he needs to find a way to manage it properly, before something really bad happens. And again, I was saying this to some buddies of mine on Discord last night. The thing that I worry about now is it's not just with this, it's again, his mental state, how much of what happened with his father is fucking with him. Yeah, what his father did is fucked up, but even still, having a parent go to jail at any age, it does mess with you. I mean, we've heard how many different stories of, NFL players that have had to deal with parents, one or both of their parents going to jail or passing away while they're at a young age. We hear this shit all the time. It does mess with you. And so, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like that's something that does need to be looked at and maybe needs to get talked about a little bit more. But with all that being said, as far as the decision by NASCAR goes, I'm okay with it. I would have been okay with it if it was a fine, maybe a bit of a probation. Yeah, after the context that we saw, if there was a suspension, yeah, I wouldn't have been okay with that because, without context, I would have accepted it. With context, I wouldn't have. But, yeah, so just want to make a video about that. Thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you all later for the Cup Series race review. Thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more content like this. I will see you all next time. Peace.